What is your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're gonna be going over my $250,000 tournament squad if that tournament was today. So another way to think about that is my best squad in the game. Not necessarily the best squad in the game, but my personal best squad in the game. And probably who I think are the 13 guys that fit, in that category of the best squad in the game. Now, before we dive any further into that, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 120,000 subscribers. Really do appreciate all the support this year through what probably has been, I think, widely considered one of the least fun years of just 2K in general. So I just know I appreciate y'all more than I can ever express, from me to you guys. Now, we're going to start it from the top at the point guard position, and we're going to plug in Hero Jokic. Now, here's the deal with Jokic. Is he the best point guard in the game? I think it's him or my backup point guard, who you guys will see later. The one thing I will say with Jokic is he fits that best kind of defensive point guard in my team, right? Where his, identity isn't offensively minded. He's a defender primarily that can, knock down shots, that can, maybe that secondary ball handler for you and your specific squad. Now, why do I like Jokic? He's 6'11", he's got 40 base Hall of Fame badges, and he's gonna just do what I need him to do. He has the Oscar upper. I still don't like the Eric Pascal base, and I know a lot of people might like it. For me, it's just not a release I've ever really gotten used to or loved. I did shoot pretty well with it in my gameplay of Jokic. Still, with that being said, I'm not that comfortable and I haven't used enough of Jokic. Now, still really solid. Obviously, this Jokic is really expensive. The out of position Jokic is nearly just as good. But again, if I'm building my best squad in the game, obviously the hero version of the card is going to be a little higher. At the starting shooting guard position, my top shooting guard in my team, Dark Matter Trace McGrady. Now, there is a little, a little speculation. Is Tim Thomas better than T-Mac? I'm shutting that down. For me, personally, I think as far as your primary ball handler, the best in the game is Trace McGrady. Now, another card, is he worth his price? I'll leave that up to you. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you guys what's worth it, what's not worth it. He's super expensive. We're probably going to get a new T-Mac relatively soon, or, a card that's going to be better than him. Although I have been saying that for the last month, it's just going to have to come at some point. T-Mac, still really solid. My starting shooting guard. At the 3, this one might come as a surprise to you guys. We're plugging in hero Tim Thomas. Now, why do I like Tim Thomas at the 3? Well, it's pretty simple. The small forward position isn't quite, at the time I'm recording this, as strong as the center or as the shooting guard position. I say center position because I was just thinking Manute Bol is coming really soon. And again, that's somebody that you guys probably should just keep in the back of your mind of, oh, well, that position probably is going to get upgraded sooner rather than later is the big man position. And same thing with Chet coming next week. He might change this as well. But for now, I like Tim Thomas there at the small forward position. Can you argue that there are going to be better small forwards in my team? Probably. But for me, as far as guys that you can just run and trust, I think Tim Thomas is up there at that small forward position. At the starting power forward position, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Taco Fall. Another card where you guys could be like, well, is Taco really like that? Are we sure there's not better options to run than Pink Diamond Taco? Well, he's 7'6", and I think that's really where it's all got to start with tacos. If somebody is 7'6", you gotta at least decently respect them. I'm not saying you gotta love them, but you gotta put a decent amount of respect on their name, because what can Taco not do in my team? He can shoot the ball. He's 7'6", can play defense because he's 7'6". And I think height runs the game, and that's what you're really going to see with this squad in general is, height does run the game. So a guy like Taco is going to make the squad no matter how good his stats or badges might suggest, or how bad I should say his stats or badges might suggest that the card is. Still respect him enough to put him on the best squad in the game easily at that starting power forward position. And the reason I want to run Taco with this lineup perfectly is because you got T-Mac and Tim Thomas, both guys who can make a lot of plays. At the center position right now, I'm plugging in dark matter, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, you guys, again, just wait till my bench unit, because don't jump to conclusions. You know, where's Yao? Why is KP starting? I think he fits this squad better. I don't necessarily like running, and this is me and my personal opinion, I don't necessarily love running Taco with Yao, and so that's why I'm kind of staggering them just a little bit, running obviously KP right here. And then Yao obviously going to be on the bench. Bench unit now, easy addition here. Dark matter Luka Doncic as my backup point guard position. Now, Luka Doncic, why do I like Luka? Why does he make my squad? A lot of people are complaining about Luka's release. Go watch my gameplay if you're not a believer of Luka Doncic and tell me how I'm not supposed to be a believer. And I'm not saying that Luka is the best player in the game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying watch my gameplay of him and tell me how I'm not supposed to believe in the hype that is Luka Doncic, because he played extremely well for me. And as much as you guys might not like Luka, I think he at least deserves respect, right? I absolutely think that 6'7", gonna play great defense. I personally like his release. I think offensive point guards, there's no better than Luka Doncic. And I'm going to pair him up with an offensive shooting guard as well. So you're wondering why I ran Tim Thomas in the starting lineup. And I'm just going to plug him in so I can talk about it for a little while. Why I want to run Bobo in the bench unit. It's just all matchup tries, right? If I'm going to run a backcourt, an offensive backcourt as powerful as Luka and Terry Dishinger, I don't need a small forward. And not to say Bobo can't create his own shot, but Tim Thomas is going to be a better ball handler than a guy like Bobo. That's just the ultimate way it is. So that's why I'm staggering this squad like it is. I love Terry Dishinger as a card. I think the card is absolutely incredible, especially if you're a 300 type of card, player. The problem I have with Terry Dishinger is I hate locking in MT, especially when it's that much. I cannot make the case that it's worth it to lock in that much MT for a guy like Terry Dishinger, although the card is really, really good. So if you haven't really seen me run a lot of Terry, if you haven't really seen me talk a whole lot about him, that is exactly why he's way overhyped there. Not overhyped, but just overpriced in general. Now, let's talk about Bobo. Bobo is 7'2" with an incredible player model, incredible player build. His release is just fine. His movement is absolutely ridiculous. Probably the best defensive player for his respective position in my team. Now, again, why doesn't he start? Well, it's just as simple as matchups. I mean, it honestly is that simple, that easy to know and understand, is that matchups just play a bigger factor than anything else. I love Bobo, the best small forward in the game by far and away. Backup power forward, this is one that's interesting and not one I love. At the time I'm recording this, I'm plugging in Dark Matter Alonzo Mourning. Now, this is just maybe recency bias, but when I did a gameplay, and I'm grinding for him, still to this day, I did a gameplay with Alonzo Mourning, and I was stunned at how good he is. Now, you guys can be like, Ty, he's only 6'10". Are you kidding me? Why are you taking him over, D-Rob, over whoever else, Kareem, over Dikembe? It's really as simple as this. His badges, his stats, and his SIGs are incredible. I know he's only 6'10", but that's part of the reason we're running Bobo. If I'm up against the Taco and Yao lineup, okay, cool. Bobo can switch on to that big guy. I can put Alonzo Mourning on, my opposing T-Mac or whoever else, and I'll be just fine, right? Again, it's all matchup dependent. That is why Alonzo Mourning is there at the 4. And that's a big reason why I bring Yao Ming off the bench at that center position. Because sure, Luka, Terry backcourt, you're not looking at a lot of height there. And honestly, Alonzo Mourning at the 4, he's small. So you've got to surround him with height in Bobo and Yao. And I think that fits the squad really well. Now, important to note here, there's only one cheap or free card, and that's Alonzo Mourning. The rest of this squad, and again, I'm going to plug in my 11th, 12th, 13th guys here shortly. I just got to get this out. Jokic, over $1 mil. T-Mac, over $1 mil. Tim Thomas, nearly $1 mil. Taco, 400K. KP, 400, 500K. Luka, 400, 500K. Terry, lock in over $1 mil. Bobo, over $1 mil. Yao, 600, 700, 800K. So you're looking at a squad right here of what? 6-7 million MT, which is just absolutely absurd and absolutely ridiculous. At the bench point guard or at the bench guard position, we're plugging in Dark Matter Ron Artest, a card I really do love. And again, if I'm plugging in my 11, 12, 13, I want guys that can play both that point guard and shooting guard position. Because what happens if Jokic gets hurt? What happens if T-Mac gets hurt? I want a guy that I can plug into either one of those positions that can hold it down. I love Artest's release. I love his defense. I love just overall his ability in my team. The other two guys I'm plugging in, Kevin Garnett. Initially, Kevin Garnett was in the lineup, and I just had to replace him. I initially had him in over Terry, and then I had TT at that bench too. But I had to change something because I was like, you know what? I think Terry as an overall card is better than KG. I ranked him high on the shooting guard list, and so it's just got to be what it's got to be. I got to get my best guys in the lineup. Although I absolutely hate Terry for his value. I got to say that again. I know I've said it before, and I've got to say it again. I hate Terry for his respective value. KG, a great option there for that bench. 2 or 3. Can definitely play that small forward position. Last, certainly not least, Hero Sabonis at that bench center position. If you wanted to, what you could do is you could start Hero Sabonis, move KP to that bench 4. It's something I thought about doing as well. I thought about doing a lot of things, and that's something I definitely thought about. I couldn't do it. When it came down to it, I think, you know, a guy like Alonzo Mourning is just overall a better card than Sabonis. Although he's not as tall, just a better card, a guy that I can trust just that little bit more in a squad like this. So if the 250K tournament was today, this is the squad I would be going out there with. Yes, I would be running a 13-man because stamina in this game is really important, and injuries do happen as well. That's going to wrap it up for our video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're doing it. As always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.